only then will you get the true bearing. When we transfer meridian of the aircraft position, you transfer the meridian from the aircraft position to the radio facility, and thereafter draw the convergency or the variation of whatever you apply. Okay, when we do the transfer of position line, transfer of the meridian, we will see how it is done. But remember that there are two different things: the variation of the position of the aircraft and the variation of the position of the radio facility. Any doubts? Yeah, Abdul? Anything?
No, sir. The request to get the screen much larger because they cannot see clearly the screen.
They can't see the screen as the screen.
Yeah, they request to get the screen for the full screen mode because they cannot clearly see the content.
Well, you need to do that, no?
I try to zoom in to see this getting better.
Yeah. Ask them whether it's any better now. Hey guys, is the screen clear or still not clear? Shakil, since I can see you, the screen is clear, Shakil? You can see all the information? Yeah, he can. For him, it's okay. Rajesh?
Clear, sir. Clearer.
Nina?
Clear, sir.
Okay. Anyone, if it's not clear, please let me know or tell Abdul and we'll rectify it. Okay, we continue.
The only raw information which comes in the form of true bearing is the QTE, which is a VDF response to a pilot's transmission. As this is a true bearing from the ground station, it can be plotted directly. All others are in the form of a QDM or a QDR. As we have.
Okay. QDM, for those of you who do not remember, is homing, is heading to steer to go towards the VOR or go towards the NDB or go towards the airfield. Okay, QDM is a homing. If you want to change a homing to a bearing, that means it is the opposite, 180 out. So to the QDM, you will have to add or minus 180 degrees to get the bearing out of the airfield or the radio facility. Right? So QDM. QDR is the bearing from the radio facility. Now when you use QTE, it is still bearing, but it is true bearing. You get a QTE from a VDF facility. What is a VDF facility? Okay, it is very high frequency direction finding. That means when you transmit, the air traffic control receives your signal. Okay, it receives it as a magnetic bearing. The facility automatically applies variation and gives out reading in the form of a true bearing. That is why when you transmit for a bearing to an air traffic control, he'll normally give you the cubic tango echo, that is QTE, which is true bearing, which only means that it is magnetic bearing with the variation applied. Because the VDF facility, that very high frequency direction finding equipment, automatically applies the variation and gives out the reading in the form of a true bearing. Is this understood? Any doubts on this? Okay, so QDM, QDR, QTE. Okay, QDM is homing, QDR is relative bearing, QTE is a bearing, but it is a true bearing. Okay, any doubts?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Already said, your first task is to convert any QDM into a QDR. We now have a magnetic bearing from the navigation aid. There are 4 possible ways to plot it. You could align the protractor with a magnetic north arrow, if there is one. The problem
Okay. Can you see this red arrow? Now this red arrow you will find at all the airfields. Look here. Look at my cursor. Okay. You will find at all the airfields. These are all magnetic north. But the problem is here, the arrow is very small. So should you wish to plot for whatever reason on magnetic, this would not be the correct way to do it because it's very small. You could misalign, but it is available. And if you are careful, you can use that magnetic north. This is the magnetic north. If you want to align with the true north, you align with any of these lines of longitude. Okay, like this. This is a true north indication. This is a true north bearing. This is magnetic north, this small little arrow. Okay, clear?
problem is that these tend to be very short, usually just over 1 centimetre, and it is difficult to align the protractor accurately. Remember, we said that accuracy was important. A better method is to find the variation from the isogonals. Then use your protractor to plot the variation at the VOR, using the nearest meridian as true north.
Okay, is this clear? What she's suggesting is that should you wish to use your do magnetic plot, then this is a magnetic north. But she also told you that the line here is very small and you could misalign. So what you should do is at the edge of the map, I will show you the variation. It's 3 degrees, 4 degrees, 6 degrees, 8 degrees. Whatever the amount of variation, she is suggesting that you apply it over here. All right? And then draw this as your datum. Draw this as your magnetic north, taking into account the variation. This is the angle of variation between the true north and the magnetic north. Okay, so you take into account the variation and then redraw this magnetic north in this fashion. After which this will be your datum for any work that you need to do with the magnetic north. That is what she's saying. Clear, everyone? Any doubts on this? Okay.
You now have a magnetic north arrow, but a much more accurate one. You can plot the magnetic radial directly without needing to apply variations arithmetically. In this example, a magnetic radial of 108 degrees is shown. However, if the VOR is on an airway, or better still, is positioned on several intersecting airways, then the airway center lines will be defined by printed radials on the chart.
Okay, this is clear. These radials, these are the ones that are magnetic headings. These are all magnetic tracks. Okay.
Shannon. There are radials of 052 magnetic, 071 magnetic, 080 magnetic, 115 magnetic, and 173 magnetic. Put the center of your protractor over the VOR symbol and then turn it until the 052 on its scale goes through the 052 radial. The 071 goes through the 071 radial, and so on. You have now aligned the protractor with the same magnetic north that Jepson have used, and you can now plot a magnetic radial directly. Alternatively, you can convert the magnetic radial to a true bearing by applying variation arithmetically, and then plot by lining up the protractor grid lines with the nearest meridian. In this example, with a variation of 8 degrees west, a magnetic bearing of 108 becomes a true bearing of 100.
Okay, this part clear? Any doubts so far? Okay, now if you have understood how bearings can be converted to relative bearings can be converted to magnetic bearing or true bearing, let us try a few examples. Okay. Abdul, I'll use share screen. Okay. Oh. Abdul, hand over this so that I share screen with you all.
Okay.
Screen sharing. Abdul,
Yes, sir.
hand over to me. Yeah, okay. Okay, suppose the QTE Okay. Change this to a QDM. What is the magnetic bearing of the aircraft? Ashraf? The QTE true bearing is 140.
Yep.
Variation is 10 degrees.
Is it
Plus 10.
150?
So this is 150. And what is it? 150 watt.
150 magnetic.
Okay. So this is 150 magnetic. Right? Now, suppose we want to change this into a QDM. You know what a QDM is?
Isn't that the QDM already?
No. QTE. Yeah.
Okay.
It's QTE. We changed it into magnetic bearing.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
All right. So anyway, what is this total? How much is this? This is, what do we do now to change this to a foaming, a QDM?
Plus 180.
180, good.
330 degrees.
Yes. Oops, this very thing. Okay, everyone, is this clear? And this is 330 magnetic. Okay. For everyone else's revision, we had a QTE, which is a true bearing of 140. Right? We want to change this into a QDM, which is a homing to the facility. So first of all, we have to change this true into magnetic. So we changed it. We added 10 degrees, which was a variation, and we got 150 magnetic. Okay, which was the bearing. Now this bearing we wanted to change to a homing. So we added 180 and got 330 magnetic as the QDM. Any doubts, anyone? Everyone clear on this?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'll give you all a problem, you all do it. Okay, please do this. Okay, first convert this to true, then decide what is the true bearing to plot from the NDB. Everyone clear on the program and on the problem?
Is it 142, sir?
No. First of all, what is the homing to the NDB? Only then you'll get the reciprocal to plot from the NDB. What is the true heading first? The aircraft heading is 315. Yeah. And what is the variation? Aircraft variation? Yeah. Hakimi.
9 west.
9 west. So what is the true heading of the aircraft?
306.
Okay. And then, so 306 is the true heading.
True heading, yes.
What is the relative bearing? Yeah.
Minus 180.
No.
Then plus.
Yeah. You see, this is the relative bearing. First, I said convert it to true bearing. Convert relative bearing to true bearing. Yeah. So
Yes.
how do you do it? Relative bearing plus true heading. So true heading, we just now, you told me that is 306.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is 306. Okay. So 306 plus
207.
207. How much do you get?
513.
513. Okay. So this is 513 true. This is to the NDB.
Yes.
Anyway, 513 minus 360.
Yes.
Okay. It is equal to how much?
153.
153. So your homing, your QTE to the NDB is
153.
or your true homing to the facility is 153. So what is the true bearing?
Plus 180.
180.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how
Yeah.
much does it come to?
333.
That is it. So you plot 333. Okay. So you plot. Okay. I'm sure there are doubts. Ziovi. Ziovi?
Yes, sir.
Is this clear, Ziovi?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No problem.
Yeah.
Okay. There. You see, it will be only clear if you are concentrating on it. Otherwise, it will escape you. Shakil? Shakil, did you understand? Or shall I repeat it? Where is Shakil chat? Clear. So there is no use of NDB variation. In this case, correct. Who asked this question? Shakil. Shakil, in this case, what are we trying to do? We are trying to plot the position of the aircraft. Okay? And that is why we need to use the variation of the aircraft. Clear? Okay? If we had anything to do with the position of the NDB, then we would apply the variation of the NDB. In this case, we are reciprocating, that is adding 180 to be able to get the bearing of the aircraft. aircraft position. And so it's the aircraft variation that is important. Remember, when you're plotting, you remember when you're plotting, mostly it is the aircraft position that you'll be plotting. Okay. All right. Any other doubts?
So
There.
RBI
Yeah.
RBI is always true, is it?
RBI, no, magnetic. That is why we converted to true here.
Ah, okay, sorry. It's the other way around.
Yeah, correct. We applied variation to this to get true. Anyone else there? There, any doubts? This one.
She has
Ashraf?
connection problems.
Oh, you have connection problem. Tell me, Nina, is this who? Acha, Daya has connection problem. But at
Yes.
least she can message me, no, in case she's okay.
Wait, I'll ask her to.
Yeah. Okay, Gilbert says all right. Gilbert is clear. Yeah, okay. There, let me know in case you want anything repeated or anything to explain. Suren, Ayman, is Ashraf, is Alicia on? Has she come on? No,
I don't see her, sir.
neither do I. Okay. Juliang, clear, Juliang?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Shall we continue from
Sir,
here then? Yeah. Yeah, Nina.
when the 513, is it the true bearing for the aircraft or?
True bearing of the aircraft. How did it become true bearing of the aircraft? Because we added relative bearing here. Relative bearing to, first of all, we changed this aircraft heading to true.
True.
From 315, we applied aircraft variation of 9. And so we got true heading of 306. Correct? 315 minus 9, 306.
006, okay.
Yeah,
And
9 west, magnetic west. So true is 306. So we added the bearing. Remember how to get true bearing? This is
we
relative
added
bearing
true
plus
heading.
true heading. We give
with
you a true bearing.
true bearing.
Okay. So this true bearing is 513 means
So,
you up,
so that's 306 plus 207, is it?
306 plus absolutely correct. That's how relative bearing plus true heading gives you true bearing. This 513 true bearing translates to 153 because minus 360. No, 513 cannot be a bearing. Minus 360
okay.
153. That is why. Now
And
this
then we-
bearing. Sorry, this is a homing.
The 153 is the homing.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. Thereafter, from we added 180 so that from the NDB find the bearing to plot. We want to find what is the bearing from the NDB so that you can plot the line. So you'll put the protractor on the NDB and plot 333 to be able to get the position of the aircraft, at least on that position line. You'll need to get another position line to be able to find the exact location of the aircraft. But in this case, it is on that line, 333.
okay, understood, sir.
Is upwards. Yeah, Ashraf.
But the aircraft heading is true, but the relative bearing is magnetic. Can you add them together, just like that?
Yeah. The relative bearing has to be added to any of these headings to make it true or magnetic. Relative bearing is common for both true and for magnetic. But when you add it to the true heading or you add it to the magnetic heading, it becomes either a true bearing or a magnetic bearing.
Okay.
Okay, what does, let's see whether I can draw this diagram, you know, one second. Let me see. Draw. Okay. If we are talking about that is an NDB. All right. We are talking about a bearing of 333. Yeah. So what we are going to do is from here, we have drawn this bearing of 333. Oops. Okay. Okay. So what we have done is we had a relative bearing of 207. Where will 207 be? A relative bearing. Yeah. Okay. This is 090. Yeah. It would be here. Relative bearing. Yeah. Over here. Yeah. This would be a relative bearing. Okay, of 207. But we have to add now the aircraft heading. Okay. So the aircraft heading is 153. So when you add the aircraft heading of 153, you get a homing of 333. Homing of 333 is from here, this way. I'm sorry, I'm not very good at this very thing. Okay, in this direction generally. But then you are interested in the position of the aircraft. So you want to know where on this is the bearing of the to be plotted from the NDB. And so you have plotted 333. Okay. You know, with this, you'll get more confused. I'm going to rub this off because it's better when I'm face to face with you. I'll draw it and I'll show you. I'm not getting this properly. Yeah. Okay, Ashraf. I had really confused you all more. Ashraf, for the time being, just remember the figures, how we manipulate the figures to get what we want. Okay, Ashraf.
Yes, sir.
The
I got it.
diagram when I am on the board with you guys, I will do it because I'm messing it up so much. Guys will get confused. The basic thing is, I said that we need to add the aircraft true heading to get true bearing. If this is the relative bearing, right, we convert this magnetic to true, which is 306. When you add these two, you get a true bearing. And the true bearing is 513, but actually it is 513 minus 360. Okay. So this, how much was it equal to? 153. Okay. So the reciprocal of 153 is 333. Yeah, Haziq, anything? Haziq, you're trying to say something? You're muted. Okay. Okay, guys, can I explain any further? Anyone wants a re-explanation? I'll do the whole thing again. No problem. Ziavi, Ashraf. Ashraf?
Yeah, I'm good, sir.
Yeah, Zioling.
Yes, sir.
Have you understood Zioling, or shall I go over it again? I have no problem going over it again.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you want me to repeat it?
No, sir. It's okay.
Okay, what I'll do is, I don't think it's clear. Okay, let's try and do it again. All right. We'll go over this again. We said the RBI is 207. Okay. Aircraft heading. Remember RBI 207, it is neither magnetic nor true. Okay, you can take it as true, but it doesn't have a symbol behind it because it is just relative to the aircraft. Okay, all right. So this is a magnetic heading. All right. Okay, Juling. The remote the bearing. Okay, the bearing is 207. The RBI indication is the relative bearing. Okay, this is 207. The aircraft heading is 315 magnetic. Right? The NDB variation is 7 west and aircraft variation is 9 west. Now, what is important to us is the aircraft variation because we want to amend this 315 to true. So you apply 9 west. Variation west, magnetic west. That means true is less than magnetic. Right? So 7 west, 9 west. So 315 minus 9 is 306. So this is the aircraft heading. True heading is 306. I told you a relative bearing, if you add it to a true heading, it becomes a true bearing. What do we need to find out? What is the true bearing to plot? Okay, we'll come to this later. True bearing to plot. Right? Now, what we want to know is that this aircraft heading right? Now, this true bearing plus aircraft heading is 306. Now, to 306 we add 207. This RBI, the bearing. So you get this as now this is to the NDB. Okay, 153 is to the NDB. Now, what we want is if you steer 153, you'll go towards the NDB. What we want is, so you can say this is the homing to the NDB. What we want is a bearing from the NDB. Only then we'll be able to plot the position of the aircraft. So to convert this, you 153 when you plot 333 from the NDB, that is a position line for the aircraft. The aircraft is somewhere on that position line. Okay, clear, Jiolin?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Abdul, put on the next video.
Finally, we need to look at whether the bearing was measured at the aircraft or at the ground station. This will not affect situations involving the Jeppesen ELO-1 because the amount of convergence is insignificant. However, if using a smaller scale chart, it may affect bearings which involve a large change of longitude. We have already covered the theory in the lesson on Lambert's chart plotting. If you feel that you need to refresh yourself in more detail on the subject, go back and look at this lesson again. Briefly, VDF and VOR are measured at the ground station. With these, we simply put our protractor over the ground station and plot the bearing. The line represents the correct radio path. However, ADF and AWR are measured at the aircraft position, using the local direction of true north. That is to say, directly up the meridian which the aircraft is on. In this example, it is 060 true. We will then need to add 180 degrees to get a bearing of 240 degrees to plot from the ground station. But we will be putting our protractor down at the ground station position. The ground station's meridian is not parallel to the aircraft's meridian. If we simply plot the reciprocal from the local true meridian at the NDB, the bearing will be an error by the amount of chart convergence between the two positions. We could calculate the convergence between the two meridians and add it to our angle to plot. But in practice, it is much simpler to draw a parallel construction line, which we call the false meridian, and plot the simple reciprocal from that. This is the method that is actually used in practice if the chart convergence is large enough to make the correction worth applying. Normally, we would not apply it to convergences of 1 degree or less. Let's summarize this lesson. The chart used for most of the question settings is the Jeppesen ELO 1. Any charts used in the exam will be supplied as an annex to the question paper.
Okay. Any doubts still here? Actually, I can't, there's no picture of a full chart. I want to show you the isogonals, the place where anyone who's got a chart with you? Abdul, do you have a chart with you?
No, sir. Love the Jeppesen.
Yeah, Jeppesen chart you have with you?
No, sir. Love
No.
in MFA.
Yeah, okay. Because when you look at the edge of the Jeppesen chart, let me see. Okay, get out of this this video, Abdul. Because I have a chart, but my video, the camera is not good enough to show it to you all. Because mine is a very poor resolution camera. So the small writing will not show. When you look at the edge of the chart or Jeppesen chart, okay, you will find a small little line which says 3 west, 4 west, 6 west, 8 west, and so on and so forth, which is so many degrees variation. Anyway, we will see it when we. Okay, any doubts on what we've covered till now, today, on plotting? I'm afraid that it is not a very satisfactory thing in the sense that I don't seem to be able to draw properly to explain to you, and can't indicate to you on the map, on the chart. So we'll just wait till we get to class, okay? Do one thing, watch these 2 videos again in your own time, and if you think, oh, sorry. Listen to these 2 again, and then should you have any doubts, we will discuss it in the next class. Okay, now the theory part, there is nothing more to discuss. We have to do this in practice. Only then can we make some sense out of this plotting, right? But after you listen to this video, should you have any doubt, please clarify with me in the next class. Right? So apart from this, the only other thing that I have to do is a little bit of the direct reading compass, which we'll do in the next class. We'll do the direct reading compass, mostly to do with errors and a few aspects of compass swing and what are the different components, you know, of a compass swing, where you correct it, what are the occasions on which you do a compass swing and things like that. So that will be, as far as we are concerned, according to the syllabus, that will be the last lesson, right? After that, if we go back to class, well and good, because then we will revise the various things that we've done online, which you are not very happy with, which I'll cover in class, especially plotting, definitely, and maybe some aspects of Lambert and grid navigation. Okay, so next class we will do magnetism, that is a bit of the direct reading compass, and after that, in case we still continue to be online, then we will practice AVAX, the full portion of the AVAX, except the practical aspects of plotting, Now you should be able to handle the AWACS. Any doubts still here or any suggestions that you all have? Yes, Ashraf, Abdul, Ziawi, or anybody, or Shakil, Lynn, Nina, any suggestions you all have or anything that you all want to share with me, please go ahead. This is the plan that I have. Yeah, Abdul.
Sure. We will be discussing about it and we're going to confirm with any result later. Is it okay?
Say again?
I think we will be discussing about it and maybe there's any suggestion, we're going to come up with it later.
Yeah. So otherwise, any case, next class, we'll assemble, I will do the magnetism that I need to cover. Direct reading compass and a bit about compass swing and magnetism. That is what we'll do next class. But all the same, I want you all to see this 68, 69 and 70, isn't it? Videos and then let me know. Should you have any doubts in the next class, or you can share it with me on email or message me or whatever. And at the same time, you'll start practicing your AWACS, and I'll hope to be able to get questions from you all on how to do a certain problem. You're running into some difficulties handling AWACS. We must start AWACS in right earnest. Okay, everyone? Okay, Abdul?
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right, Gilbert and Shakil, since y'all are, I'm not in communication with me, bye. All right. Ziawi, Jialing,
Bye,
bye.
sir.
Bye, Nina.
Bye, sir.
Bye, Ashraf.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Bye, Lynn.
Bye, sir. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay,
bye,
sir.
Rajesh. Ayman, I haven't
Bye,
heard
sir.
very much from you. Yeah, bye, Rajesh. Ayman.